So how you guys doing? Welcome to today's Periscope. I'm only going to take a few minutes on this today, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. But here's the thing I was thinking about. What piece on the chessboard of life are you really playing? What piece are you in this reality of life? That's the question that you should be asking yourself. Now, I'm not so much of a conspiracy theorist as much as there are certain things that just match up a certain way. There are certain things that just are in this reality of existence that we live in. If you look at anything in life, there are those who are at the bottom, and those at the bottom only have bottom level information. And as you move up the ladder, for instance, in Jacob's ladder, as you move up the ladder, you come to a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of knowledge, a higher level of knowing, a higher level of wisdom. Okay, if you are in a company, as you move up in a company, you gain more information about how the company actually works, how it functions, all the other functionalities, that you begin to understand why certain things are done a certain way and why certain controls are in place. And that's what I'm talking about, controls that are in place and what piece you're going to play. What's your role in it? You know, Shakespeare says we all have different roles. We have our interests and our exits. So what role would you play on the chessboard that you call in this reality? You see, on a chessboard, you have your pawns, you have your bishops, you have your knights, you have your rooks, you have your kings, you have your queens. Now, here's the thing. Even though you have a king or a queen on a chessboard, there's somebody moving the pieces around. Do you get that? There's somebody moving the pieces around. And even for those people who think that they're moving the pieces around, they're still on a chessboard themselves. So the question is, it is not that you can get off of the chessboard. You will never get off of the chessboard. People talk about getting out of the matrix or getting, get rid of the digital footprints. And this, let me put it like this. There is not a piece of land you can go into where there's maybe a few here and there, deserted islands or whatnot, but for the most part, there's not a place you can go to where the property isn't controlled or owned by some governmental force. You can put solar panels, dig wells. You can make yourself as self-sufficient as possible. You can grow crops. You can have different types of greenhouses, and that's fine. But at some point, you're still going to be paying the tax man of that government. So you're still going to be within some level of a system of control. You're just diminishing the control. Now, that comes to what piece are you playing on the chessboard? You see, if you're a pawn, then you're expendable. You're easily given away. You're just there to distract. You know, it's like a magician who practices magic with a C. It is while you're looking here, the real magic is going on over here. So you're just a part of the distraction. So the question, are you going to remain a pawn to the system? Because if you're a pawn, then you're expendable. You're wasteful. You serve a purpose initially, and then we get rid of you. Now, you have higher level positions. You know, you have your rooks and your knights and your bishops. All right. Now, these people are within those levels of controls, and they have more power to move different ways than other pieces. But within each level, there is only so much they can do. They are also expendable, but not as expendable as a pawn. And as you move up the ladder from the rook to the knight to the bishop, you see that their expendability decreases. So which one are you going to be? Now, here's something that you have to understand. If you ever really want to change, if you're a pawn right now, you want to change that. You see, some people only look at it as, if I go to college and I get a degree, then I can enter the company at a higher level. And this is true. You will. You get a degree, you don't start out in the mailroom. You may start out in accounting, or you may start out in middle management because you went to a certain school, and then depending upon the reputation of the school, because that's all it really is the reputation of the school, you will end up being at even a higher level. And what that allows you to do is start at a different level, because you accomplished something that the king and the queen and that the movers of the chess pieces respect to a certain degree, that allows you to not start out as a pawn. And that's cool, because you're not starting out at the bottom. But even at that level, it is, where do you want to go from there? Because see, one day you can become the king or the queen, and then one day you can become the mover of that chessboard. That chessboard. I hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying. Now, in order to really understand, in order to move beyond, in order to be the one who moves the pieces and then after you've moved the pieces and you realize that you're on somebody else's chessboard, and you elevate yourself to on that one so that you're moving the pieces again. Understand this: in order to know it, you got to go back to the root of it. Now, although I can use many different things, and religions is like the easiest one to do, but I was thinking about one that's even easier to use, and that is America itself. Okay, America itself was founded on the principle of freedom, right? And here's the thing about it: the American Revolution. This is where I want to go. I know we can look at many different points of freedom of religion, freedom of humanity, all these different things, but even in that freedom, there was others who did not have freedom. I'm not going there, all right? But we can go there, but I'm not. Here's the thing that I want to focus on: America. The American Revolution, it occurred because a certain group of people moving the chess pieces decided that we were being taxed too much. Those founding fathers said we were being taxed too much in America, and I say we, but it wasn't me, but nor my ancestors. But America was being taxed way too much, which was funny because the American colonists were actually being taxed at a lesser rate than the people who were living in other British colonies and those who were living in England. But that's besides the point. They felt like they were being taxed too much. Really what they wanted was freedom and power. It's really what they wanted. But because they wanted to get off the chessboard of the king and then be the chess players themselves. You understand? Now, but here's the thing that's funny about it. As with anything, it starts out at a certain level of purity. When the Declaration of Independence was written, when the Constitution was written, it had a level of purity within our governmental system. What you had was people who believed that they were being taxed too high. Now, I wonder what would happen if those same people were able to come into America today and see the level of taxation that has been levied on the people. You see, according to those people and according to those original principles, America, especially after World War II, should have revolted against the current American government if you understood the core principles of why the revolution started. If you go based on that core principle of why the revolution started, out of taxation. All right, America was being overly taxed. Was being overly taxed then. We're being taxed probably at 10, 15, 20 times, maybe 30 or 40 times as much now as they were then. So should we not be in revolution? According to the original. So in every system that you are part of, and understand you are part of many different systems. You are part of systems of nationality, systems of race, system of economics, system of geographical location. You're involved in systems of religion. All these things have systems in it. And if you truly want to move within the system from a pawn and up to a king or a queen or a knight or a rook or a bishop, wherever you want to go, whatever deems your success and happiness, then understand the root of it first. Those who follow the path of Yeshua, go back to what he actually was teaching before the Romans started messing it up. It didn't start messing up in this current generation or the generation before. It started being corrupted 1700 years ago, around 325, when Constantine got involved, is when it really started getting corrupt. You can sort of go before that when Emperor Flavius and Eusebius, but I'm not going to go there. I'm going to let you go there. All right, if you really want to understand his teachings, then you would go outside of the canonized and you wouldn't understand what the real teachings, the root teachings were. And then if you move from the root teachings and put that into today, you'll have a different understanding, different mindset, and move differently. Those who follow Siddhartha Gautama, or the Buddha, would understand that he would have never wanted to be called the Buddha, but that any and everybody can reach Buddha head, Buddha consciousness, reach nirvana, and you then become a Buddha, just as God is in me and I am in the Father. Is it not written that ye are all gods? It will be that, as Krishna talked about, you are all part of the creation. You all have the ability to reach the crown chakra and Om. These things are there for you. But you've been conditioned to not look, to not see it. The veil has been pulled over your eyes, or as far as Paul, you have fish scales over your eyes and you cannot see. So lift the veil. Lift the veil on the system of government that you're in. Lift the veil on the system of economics and business and race that you're in. You know, the thing about it is that we go so far away from natural law that we don't even really know who we are. It's amazing that every other animal on this planet is in tune with the planet, except for humans. Humans have went out of their way to not be in tune with the frequency of the planet. And when somebody tries to bring it about, for all of my Tesla fans out there, when somebody was saying Tesla said that the earth rings like a bell, it has a frequency. And if we could get in tune with that frequency, then we would be able to harness that energy. And he copied the Egyptians' technology to see how they harness that energy. And he wanted to give it away free. But J.P. Morgan said, we cannot give free energy. You cannot create these things and we give free energy. How do we make money off of it? We lose a system of control. So they shut down they shut him down. They stopped funding his project. And Tesla died poor. And it is only now that Tesla, thanks sort of to Elon Musk, his knowledge, his information, what he was talking about, is coming to light. All right? So you got to understand those kinds of things if you want to move from being a pawn to a rook, to a knight, to a bishop, to a queen, to a king, and understand the power at each level. And then one day you become the master of the chessboard yourself, only to realize that you're playing on another person's chessboard, but you can still become the master of that board as well. It's a continuation. It will never end. Accept that it will never end, but then decide, where do you want to be? What piece are you going to play? So as you enjoy your systems today, look at your system. Think about it. Show yourself to be study and show yourself to be approved. All the information is there. You're being told that in your face constantly. But are your eyes open enough to see it? So I'm going to end this. I'm going to get to work. Got some things to accomplish today. So you guys have a great day, and I look forward to the next time.